welcome. It is Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth. My name is Rusty Humphries. This is Jeff Jr., and we appreciate you being here. Hit the subscribe button right away, right now. Don't wait. It's just like with building, just like with calling Trajan Wealth and getting your life prepared. Don't wait. What are you waiting for? Come on, get yourself going. So hit the subscribe button, go to TrajanWealth.com. Matter of fact, what you should do, this is my suggestion, you do whatever you want. Get a second tab going. Watch this show, get the second tab, go to TrajanWealth.com, see what's going on there, watch the show, learn something, sign up, life is good. You are going in the right direction. That's me, do whatever you want. Okay, Jeff.
Rusty.
I'm a little fast today.
You are.
I'm a little fast today. Mm-hmm. All right. So I was hanging out with Ron White, the comic. Remember him?
I do.
You know him?
I do, for sure.
Awesome guy. You know, he taught me a rule of comedy over the week, and I just didn't do it. And that was, yeah, man. When you think you're doing great, slow down. When you think you're doing bad, slow down. The message is, whenever you're doing this stuff, slow down. So that's my lesson from Ron White today.
All
right, so I'm going to slow down.
Great takeaway. All right.
I'm going to slow down right now. Living trusts.
Living trusts, right?
Living. I don't even get the two words together. What does that mean?
Well, a trust is a legal document, and you do it while you're living. You create it while you're living to prevent a lot of bad things that could happen to your assets upon death.
Okay. So is that easy to do? Can I just get an envelope, and on the back of an envelope, I want this to happen?
A lot of people do that for a will. So there's really two documents that you can create for how to pass your assets to somebody. A will is a common one, but then there's also a trust.
Okay.
And a trust is a much more extensive document. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that a will doesn't avoid probate. And probate, as we've learned, is kind of a scary word and something you want to avoid because it's a lawsuit.
Okay, so we have an expert. You have a brand new company that I know you're excited about.
I'm very excited about.
You kind of been downplaying. You're kind of playing cool, like I'm Jeff Jr. I'm cool, man. I'm cool. But you're probably inside, oh my God, this is really cool. This is awesome. Is that kind of how you're feeling on the inside?
It's a great addition to the company, for sure. Yeah, it really is a great addition to the company. Trajan Wealth is a full-service financial planning firm, and then we added Trajan Estate, which is a full-service trust firm, and we're really going to take care of your assets for the next generation or your heirs, and also your assets while you're living. That's a big benefit.
And I think what's cool about this is it's not just great for your business. This really is the answer to a lot of people's problems.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people who work with financial advisors, just a financial advisor, not obviously Trajan Wealth, is really missing a lot of benefit from working with a full service firm who also incorporates an attorney into their package, because a lot of people work with attorneys that are outside of that firm and they don't communicate together. They don't work as one solid unit and one solid team.
To me it doesn't make sense, but it's interesting that it's brought up that you would think that your financial guy was talking to your attorney and everybody's working together, but they're not. Except to you here.
Right. That's exactly right.
All right, it's a great thing. Again, go to a Trajan Estate and TrajanWealth.com. Kent is here.
Kent is
here. And I think talking a little bit about living trusts might be a good thing today.
Agreed. Yeah, we'll get Kent in here and we can ask him some questions about a living trust and really what that means. So we brought in Kent Phelps, who's the CEO of Trajan Estate, to talk a little bit more about what is a living trust. So can you elaborate for us what a trust is, a living trust?
Yeah. So good point. There are different types of trusts, right? And a living trust, the reason why we call it a living trust is because it's a trust you create for your own benefit during your lifetime. Okay? That's why it's a living trust. It's not a trust that you're creating for somebody else's benefit or for somebody else to control. You are your own trustee. You are your own beneficiary. You are the creator of the trust. It's for you during your lifetime.
But it still benefits the beneficiaries if something should happen to you.
Once you're gone. Yeah. That's right. And so, but that's why it's called a living trust. And I really try to help my clients to understand they will have just as much access to and control over their assets after they do a trust as they do before they do a trust. It's really important.
So can you tell us a little bit about what the difference is between a trust and a will? I know a lot of our clients have wills. Maybe they've even handwritten a will on a napkin that they have, but can you explain the difference between those two?
Yeah, a will is what we call a testamentary instrument that is effective on your death, and it has to be submitted to the probate court, and it has to go through that whole probate process. A trust is just a contract. Okay, that's really all a trust is. It's a contract, but it's also an entity to which we transfer our property. Now, Jeff, this goes back to something that John D. Rockefeller said. He said, "Own nothing, control everything." Okay, John D. Rockefeller, who owned a lot of stuff, actually didn't own anything because he used trusts. And so the idea is that probate is required if we own our property personally at the time of our death. But what we do with a trust is we take what we currently own in our personal name and we transfer ownership to the trust, so that at the end of our life, we don't own anything. Our trust owns it. All right? Because we don't own anything, there is no estate to probate.
Right. And you may not be as wealthy as John D. Rockefeller, but if you have assets valued at about $100,000, from our conversations, if you have assets valued at about $100,000 and above, that's really where you want to have a trust at this point, right?
Yeah, we have different thresholds. Typically, if you've got real estate that has value of more than $100,000, or you've got personal property that has value of more than $75,000, or if you've got life insurance, then you are likely to be a candidate for a living trust.
And if you're unsure whether you have a trust or a will, the trust is about yay thick. A will can be pretty small, right? I mean, overall,
it depends. Size does not matter with a trust or a will, for that matter. Are the words on the page doing what you want it to do? That's the real question. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about revocable trust and irrevocable trust? That's some common language.
Sure, you bet. So a revocable living trust is a trust, as I just mentioned, that we create for ourselves during our lifetime that we can change at any time we want to, as many times as we want to. An irrevocable trust is used when we are creating a trust for somebody else's benefit and for somebody else to control. We might use an irrevocable trust if we have a lot of life insurance and we're over the estate tax exemption and we want to transfer our life insurance outside of our taxable estate so that it's not estate taxable on our death. Well, in that case, I would create a trust for the benefit of my children. I would give up the right to control that trust. I would not be a beneficiary of that trust, and I can't change the trust. Does that make sense?
It does. So it sounds like there's a lot of value with just having a trust in general.
Yeah. Again, if you need it, under the parameters that we've talked about, starting with a living trust at a minimum, and then if you have significant wealth or you have creditor protection objectives, then an irrevocable trust can actually help to protect our assets during our lifetime as well.
So if somebody's considering getting a trust, maybe they have a will, maybe they don't have anything, they're like, should I get a trust? Do I want to work with an attorney? What is the cost with working with somebody like you?
Yeah, so our fees are middle of the market. There are some law firms who charge more, some that charge less. Our standard revocable trust package is around $3,300. There is a firm around the corner from my office that's charging $6,000 for that same plan. And then there are attorneys who charge less. Usually those attorneys are attorneys who are doing other areas of law other than just doing estate planning. I like to think of it in terms of things in life that we bargain shop for and things in life that we shouldn't bargain shop for. The things in life we should not bargain shop for are things like parachutes and scuba gear and estate plans.
Right. So how long does it take to create a trust? If they were to start the process, how long does it take to create it?
From the time that they visit with us to the time that they're signing documents, typically somewhere in the realm of 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
So pretty quick to get it done and have that peace of mind. And one thing I can say too about that cost, that's Trajan Estate. So if you just come in off the street and you're not a client of Trajan Wealth, our cost is typically $3,300. However, if you're a client of Trajan Wealth, you may receive a substantial discount. In many cases, it's complimentary. It's just part of the package, and that's really what Trajan Wealth is and Trajan Estate is going for, is to create a full-service financial services firm that not only takes care of you in this life, but also takes care of your beneficiaries. So with that in mind, thanks for your time, Ken.
All right, thank you.
That was interesting. First thing that really caught me was the John D. Rockefeller comment. What was it? Don't own anything?
control everything.
I'd never heard that before.
And I think a lot of people think that they have to be as rich or be rich to have a trust, when I think we've learned that you don't necessarily
Right,
have
that was
to
the
be
other thing. I was
rich.
going, maybe I don't know if I got enough money.
Right,
and,
right.
it was a pretty reasonable number. I mean, if you have a house, you probably should be looking at something like that
That's right.
right away, right?
And a lot of people think that with a financial advisor, I don't have enough money to have a financial advisor. But it's never too late, and you can't start soon enough.
Right. I think the other thing I liked listening to what he had to say and what you had to say was, when you're working together, his costs go down. You working with him costs me less. Working with you costs me a little bit less. It's like bundling my car insurance with my house insurance, kind of.
And it's not only the cost overall; it's the benefit that you receive from it. When the financial advisor can work under the same roof as the estate planning attorney and vice versa, it meshes everything together. And one thing I'd say too is a lot of financial advisors will sub out trust work to another attorney. And when you create a trust, you have to retitle all of your assets into that trust name, and that's what's called funding the trust.
Okay.
And I have seen a lot of trusts that were created. You spend the money to get this nice big document, and you feel good inside, and it just feels like a burden has been lifted. However, the financial advisor then doesn't change or retitle all the investments, so the trust hasn't been funded. So you create this big extensive document, you may feel good, but it really doesn't accomplish your goals. So when you have it under one roof, all together, all integrated, we can make sure, and you as the client make sure, that everything is completed from A to Z.
And that goes back to the attorneys not talking with the financial planner, and there was no communication
Right.
before.
That's right.
And here it's all together.
Because everybody's in their own separate business.
I mean, the guy that changes my oil doesn't talk to my housekeeper, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
It's
Not
okay.
that they might need to.
Right,
Right.
but I mean, yours, it just makes sense what you're doing.
It
I think
certainly does.
it's I think it's brilliant. I'm very impressed
Thank you.
and proud of you.
I'm
my
very
friend.
excited of this entity, for sure.
Good. Well, two websites now you need to check out. One, TrajanWealth.com. TrajanWealth.com is for what kind of services?
Financial planning, investment management.
Okay. That's your whole pitch right there? Give me a little pitch. Come on.
Well,
let me take two, and don't edit, but take two. TrajanWealth.com, that's the place to go. Why should they go to TrajanWealth.com?
So Trajan Wealth is a full-service financial planning firm, and we do everything from stocks to bonds to investments, 401ks, everything under that name.
That was a better pitch.
That wasn't as good.
That was
Let's
good.
do that again. I can do that even better.
No, I'm just keeping it. That's
All right,
good.
all right, it's fine.
Our second website. See, he thinks that we're actually going to stop this show and edit it. We don't. We just keep going, bud.
Right.
We just keep going. Our second website, and it's also important. We're just learning, brand new, TrajanEstate.com. Why do we want to go there?
So Trajan Estate is a law firm. So we're structured as a law firm, and we help our existing clients on the Trajan Wealth side, or even new clients, establish a proper trust for their retirement.
All right. He's a great guy and smart, and I get a chance to come in here every couple of weeks and meet the people here, and I like them. I think you will too. And all I can suggest is that you go to the website, TrajanWealth.com, to find out how you can work with this great team. So until next time, subscribe to the show. Would you please hit the notification button as well so you don't miss any of the great information that's coming out each week, brought to you by Jeff Jr. And until next time, I'm Rusty Humphries, he's Jeff Jr., and this is Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth, featuring Jeff Jr. Thanks.
Investment advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Services discussed are those of the law firm Trajan Estate, LLC. Engagement with Trajan Estate, LLC for services discussed are not required and is separate and not related to services provided by Trajan Wealth, LLC. Please note, Trajan Wealth, LLC does not render legal services.